We're not sure why that happens, but like I said, this mathematics bazaar, goes out to my dad, whom I lost last week, and whose life was really ruled by science, mathematics, and engineering, but whose heart was well and truly ruled by his family. Delighted to be back, and a collection of wonderful mathematics books, also coinciding with a celebration of Pi Day, which, like I said, is a symbol in mathematics to represent a constant, and the figure that pi represents is approximately 3.14159. The reason we celebrated on 14th March is because in the American way, the third month comes first and 14 comes next. So 3.14 coming closest to the figure of pi. So, a good reason as ever to pick up some wonderful books in math that we have in our collection. Of course, apparently, all across the world, math enthusiasts also eat pie on Pi Day. And I think that's not a bad way to celebrate anything mathematical at all, with a piece of pie. So here's to, wishing all of you have your pie and eat it too. With that, I begin with my, first clutch of recommendations to you, which is a set of counting books. Lots and lots of books for the youngest of readers. And, I'm going to begin with one that's my absolute favorite. I mean, we've got a whole clutch of counting books, so I'm going to run you through these ones. One of my absolute favorites, 1 to 10 Procession, published by NBT, and a beautiful number book illustrated through a wedding procession. What could be nicer? What could be more fun than, introducing numbers through a wedding procession? This one created by the one and only Mickey Patel, a book that was published perhaps 3 decades ago, or possibly even more, maybe, but 3 decades ago, and which shows you, for the youngest of readers, showing you how to count through a wedding procession. So you can see one horse, you can see two followers at the procession, three people in the band, and so on and so forth goes this utterly and absolutely delightful counting book. Like I said, my first clutch of recommendations are just a bunch of beautiful counting books for our youngest readers. There's this one too, a really cute and quirky book on of counting, called Cows, by Nandini Majumdar, and illustrated by Ishan Das Gupta. It inspired by the cows of Varanasi, really. So you can see how well, there's active cows and lazy cows, but maybe forever fascinating cows. And you can see this kind of collage work that they have done, and each of those collages perhaps representing something of the fabric and textile traditions of Varanasi. Such a beautiful counting book again for our youngest readers. We also have 10, which is another lovely little counting book, done by Shefali Jain, written and illustrated by Shefali Jain, and published by Tulika. And such a beautiful, the book that really captures the wide-eyed innocence and open curiosity of children on an Indian street. I mean, these pen and wash illustrations, really, of little children on the street, making it such a beautiful book. And what is marvelous about it is its inclusive nature, because somewhere tucked away in its pages, you can see that they have included children of all kinds, even one that is holding a crutch. This is what makes this such a special counting book in every way. This one published by Tulika. These are, of course, absolutely for the youngest of readers. Procession priced, 1 to 10 procession priced at 35 rupees, cows priced at 40 rupees, 10 priced at 65 rupees. And I can share with you three more lovely counting books. This one called One Rainy Day by Shobha Vishwanath and illustrated by Ashwati PS and Anusha Sundar. Again, counting things on a nice rainy day. Quite welcome in this hot summer, but it really, is a book that combines counting skills with the art of storytelling to create a magic for our youngest readers. So, one dark cloud, two gentle raindrops, three croaking frogs, and you can see that the artwork is really stunning. This one is a board book and priced at 499 rupees, published by Karadi. This one too, again, a great favorite counting book called Let's Go by Antara Mohan and illustrated by Rajiv Ipe, whose illustrations we utterly adore. And this one, in very much in keeping with the style of 1 to 10 procession. There's a whole bunch of children, who come leaping, riding, zooming in on cycles, scooters, rickshaws, and really a great counting book with different modes of transport on every spread. What's lovely, especially about Rajiv Ipe's illustrations, are the personalities of the children who really brighten up the streets of this of our country and this particular place in which it is based. It's a beautiful counting book, and if you don't have it, it's got to get to your shelves. Priced at 175 rupees, published by Tulika. And of course, we would be remiss if we didn't recommend this beautifully illustrated book called 123, done by the inimitable Anushka Ravishankar, Sirish Rao, and illustrated by Durga Bai in the Pardhan Gond tradition of central India. So you can see, Anushka, her quirky, absolutely, wonderful writing style leaping off the pages of this book. This one, one dizzy ant. So one dizzy ant totters up the tree, and then there is two dreamy lizards follow lazily. So there's a bit of a that rhyme in it. It's a number book, it's a picture book, it's a nursery rhyme tale, and a fable. Above all, what makes it really special is the fact that it's a fable of living together in harmony with creatures great and small that inhabit our planet. This one published by Tara, priced at 300 rupees. That was a huge clutch of counting books that we have in our collection, and we would recommend this for the youngest of readers, starting from ages 2. Our friends on Instagram, I know many of you join us on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching us. Every time, in the course of the bazaar, we have a guest, and today we have a storyteller, going to regale us or going to bind us into a mathemat twist. The thing is, we're not able to, broadcast that on Instagram. So if you can watch on Facebook or on YouTube, on our Facebook channel, The Funky Rainbow. Sorry? The story will be live, is it? Oh, okay. All right. All right. Okay. So the story apparently is live. All right. I'm sorry. I got that wrong. The story can go live up on Instagram. It's not an interview. Nobody is joining us separately. Our own partner at Funky Rainbow, Graystroke, is going to have you in a mathemat twist with a wonderfully funny counting story. So you can, of course, watch us on Instagram. But for those of you who want to watch on Facebook and YouTube, you can catch us on our channels. My next set of recommendations are these lovely board books for our youngest readers, done by Pridhi and illustrated by Alicia Souza. And this one, we have in two languages. This one is called Das Din, and it's also available in Tamil called Pattu Natkal. And what an exciting board book this is for our youngest readers. And I can, tell you, it is a number book, of course. So it starts Ek Tha Raja Ka Beta. And you can see on the pages that, the English is, I mean, the Hindi is also transliterated. So you can read the Hindi in Hindi, but you can also read the Hindi in English. So this one goes Ek Tha Raja Ka Beta. And the book just doesn't have only that. Do din se tha bistar par leta. The poor prince was unwell and lying in bed. And in the tradition of wonderful board books, this one has flaps that you can pull out like this. So you can see that the thermometer in the Raja Kabeta's mouth can be pulled forward and back, obviously meant for little hands and not for big clumsy hands like mine. But we have so few lift the flaps and pull the tabs books in the Indian children's context, that this one is really a wonderful addition to our shelves. Of course, a counting book again. Theme: Doctor Dekhne Aaye. The doctor came to visit the Raja Ka Beta, and here's a flap that you can pull up, and you can see the doctor is paying his visit. How can you just imagine what fun this book would be for a young reader? It's really a marvelous interactive board book available in Hindi and in Tamil as well. So, which means the text goes exactly, like the Hindi text in Tamil as well. Raja Virku Chella Pillai Ondru. Shruti Sri Raghunath saying, such a cute book. It really is, Shruti. We're so delighted that you've joined us at the bazaar this morning. So, Raja Virku Chella Pillai Ondru. You can read it in Tamil. You can also read it in English. On the second page, of course, காய்ச்சலுடன் இருந்து நாட்கள் இரண்டு. He has been unwell for 2 days. Really a wonderful way to introduce your mother tongue. I mean, if it happens to be Hindi and Tamil to the readers, but also a great counting book that takes you from 1 to 10. So these are, of course, again meant for absolutely our youngest readers. Like I said, they are excellent, board books, and they are priced at what is the price, Suji, of these books? The priced at 429 rupees each. But always the books that we focus on in our bazaar available at a great discount. Please use the coupon, the voucher code that has been put up on top of the website. And when you're checking out, if there are books that you want from this collection, make sure to apply that a coupon code to get a 10% discount on these wonderful, exciting books. My third recommendation for the day is a gorgeous book from the House of Tara. And this one, I've got to show you the way it looks. Of course, you're looking at just the case in which the book is. It's called 10. It is by, one of the world's most accomplished creators of pop-up books, Marion Batel. And you know what the pleasure of the book 10 is, and I can't tell you how many times we've opened and closed this at our office. She plays with the shapes of the numbers and explores the pleasure of counting them over and over again. Now, what is exciting about counting them over and over again? Well, in this book, you can count from 1 to 10 and back again without turning the pages. And I'm going to show you the magic of this beautiful pop-up book created by Tara and basically created by Marion Batel, introducing the numbers to children. So you can see that the number here is 01. So what happens? Lift the flap this way and look what happens to this number. What does it become? So you can actually count from 1 to 10, but you can also count ulta, right? You can also do this. You can also pick up the flaps and the numbers come this way and that way. Oh, I'm holding it upside down. Sorry. I didn't, figure that I was holding it upside down. But the numbers just automatically, becoming one, becoming 10, 9 becoming 2. Just imagine the magic of such an interactive book with children. You can see I'm holding the page that is 9, and you lift the flap and it just becomes 2. So you can count forward and backwards with the same book without having to turn the pages. It's really spectacular. I mean, it's so sophisticated and it's so imaginative. It is, of course, an expensive book because these die cuts and hardbacks, not easy to do. But really, I think the pleasure of such a book has absolutely got to be enjoyed. So this one is 3, and then when you look at it, it goes into 8. I'm telling you, you can open and close it countless number of times, really. This one published by Tara, priced at 750 rupees, and coming to us in a beautiful box. It's really a must, I think, for Montessori schools, for educators, who are for educators who are working with children and teaching them numbers. Tulika Pillai saying, good morning. How lovely to see you at our bazaar this morning, Tulika Pillai. My next clutch of recommendations are 2 beautiful picture books, and this one called One Lonely Unicorn, published by Katha, written by Meenakshi Bharadwaj and illustrated by Shonali Biswas, is a beautiful book, a counting book with a difference. I know many of you, know of the book. Muttama saying, what a fun way to teach numbers this way. Truly, what a fun way to teach numbers, Muttama. We really are. We're so glad that you're watching, but we'd much rather have you here with us, commenting and making all kinds of jokes while the bazaar is going on. So this one, a counting book with a difference, written by Meenakshi Bharadwaj and art by Shonali Biswas. For those of you who know and have picked up books from us, there's one that we've often recommended at various bazaars called Hippopotamus. In fact, we recommend it very often to people who write into us. And I want to say that you can always communicate with us by email at funkyrainbowmail@gmail.com or on our WhatsApp number 99004 for recommendations for children of all ages going from 0 to 18 years, and for also specific thematic recommendations. So one of the books that we've often recommended is the story of this hippopotamus called Havasi. And why is he a hippopotamus? Because, well, he gets hiccups. And hippopotamus is nothing but a hippopotamus. Now, what happens in this book, in One Lonely Unicorn, Havasi basically is a baby hippopotamus. So Katha has actually made some wonderful interlinks between other books that they've created and this one. And in this one too, hippopotamus hiccups very, very strongly and flies very, very high and lands all the way in India, and lands in Gulmohar forest. And at the edge of the Gulmohar forest, he meets various creatures. So you can see he meets one lonely unicorn. That's what you find out in the book. But of course, he also meets, a number of elephants. He certainly meets a whole herd of, bison. And as you can see, while the story of while hippopotamus's adventures are getting catalogued, you're also counting some beautiful creatures in the midst of Gulmohar forest. It's such a lovely picture book. It's been so beautifully illustrated, and there is and there is there's something at the end of the book that tells you that all the amazing animals that you meet in this book, there's something common about all of them. And I'm not going to tell you what's common about all of them. You've got to read this fantastic book to find out. And like I said, because it riffs off the other book, you do get the story of hippopotamus in this one too. And of course, there is a little rhyme, a counting rhyme up there for the youngest of readers. This one published by Katha, priced at 195 rupees. Our next recommendation is a book that we've thoroughly enjoyed at Funky Rainbow. Ever since it got published, it came to us, I think, just before the lockdown. This wonderful award winning book called Srinivasa Ramanujan, Friend of Numbers, written by the wonderful writer Priya Narayanan and illustrated by Satvik Gade. Now, what is this about? Well, it's about the life and times of that mathematical genius, Srinivasa Ramanujan. It goes right into his childhood. From the time that he was born, it takes us right into the heart of his home, which was, he was born on the 22nd of December in 1887, just on the banks, along, a row of houses, in a row of houses that lined the Kaveri River. And of course, in keeping with his traditional upbringing, he was given the name Srinivasa Ramanujam. Of course, and his family subsequently moved to Kumbakonam. But what about the boy? He was a quiet, introspective boy, always, with a whole lot of patterns, sort of really fizzing inside his head, a whole lot of complex mathematical formula. I mean, he was always thinking, even as a child, how far were the clouds? How big were the stars? How long was the equator? A boy always full of questions, a boy intrigued by patterns. You can see on one of these pages the pattern of the gopuram of a temple in Kumbakonam where he lived intrigues him because that gopuram has a particular pattern. And really, the ability to see these patterns as a young boy, inspiring him to go on to become one of the world's most brilliant mathematicians. Priya Narayanan has done a fantastic job of bringing alive the life and times and the mind of Srinivasa Ramanujam for readers 6+ years in age. And Satvik Gade's illustrations really, capturing those patterns that Ramanujan could see in all the things around him. This wonderful book, we are not surprised, it won the Neve Book Award in the early readers category last year. Absolutely deserving of this fantastic award. This one published by Tulika, priced at 225 rupees. Of course, we have a whole host of books from Pratham. And Pratham, working tirelessly across the last so many years to do several STEM books, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We have, of course, put together for you a full pack of level 2 books. These are all books for the youngest of readers. And I can see, and there are 7 books in this level 2 pack. All these books put together, priced at 325 rupees, each one unraveling one fascinating, concept in mathematics. I'm just going to show you 2 of them. One of my favorite ones by a very, very dear friend, Nandini Nair, written by Nandini Nair and illustrated by Nirzara Verlurkar, which is called Hungry on the Steps. At the moment, you can't pick up any of these books individually. They're part of the Pratham Pack 2, level 2 books on mathematics, which would really work for the youngest readers. We'd say, possibly children between the ages of 5 and 7 years. So, what is this story about? And, of course, the protagonist of the book is Pranav, and we do know that Nandini Nair's son is called Pranav, not such a little boy anymore, but, nevertheless, the protagonist of his mother's book. He's hungry and he's hurrying up. On the steps, and being followed by his mother and father, and promptly the book asks you a question: how many hungry people are walking up the steps? And of course, on the very next page, we find out that his cat is hungry too. And what is the question up on that page? How many people are between Pranav and the cat? So, not just helping your children to count, but also making them answer some questions as they turn the pages. I mean, telling a story, but making them count, making them observe things on the pages. That all the Pratham books in this pack really making your children think quite a lot, and learning to look at the pictures as well and observe things. Bindya Parvani, welcome to the bazaar. How you say awesome reads. They indeed are awesome reads. You can't believe that what we think as some kind of oppressive and very, very difficult subject, math can be so beautiful, so much of fun, as the books in our bazaar prove over and over and over again. You just need the right books to introduce these concepts to your children. So, this is one of the books in the Pratham level 2 pack. I'm also going to show you one more book from the level 2 pack, which just came on our shelves 3 days ago perhaps, called The Power of 10, written by that wonderful editor writer Anita Roy and illustrated by Joanna Mendez. You can see what a delightful book it is. It says 10 angels dancing on top of a pin, 9 pins to stitch a bright star. And you can see these fantastic illustrations, and a book that literally takes readers to the edge of the universe and back. 8 bright stars on a kurta. And there you are, 8 bright stars on a kurta, 7 friends dressed for a party. And I love it. I love the ethnic feel of these illustrations. I love the clothes that the people are wearing, makes us connect, makes our children, see themselves, see people that they see around themselves on the pages of this lovely book called The Power of 10. So, like I said, the entire Pratham level 2 math pack priced at 325 rupees and has 7 books that would work very well for 5 to 7 year olds. We also have a Pratham level 3 and 4 pack, which are books for slightly older readers. These ones would work for, we would imagine 8 to 10 year olds, but these levels are just typically in our heads, right? I mean, you can introduce a book to a child and whether she or he is enjoying those stories and grasping anything from it. It doesn't matter whether you grasp anything from it or not, as long as you enjoy the experience of reading it. I'm going to show you 2 of the books that are in our Pratham level 3 and 4 math pack. Again, there are 8 books in here, all put together, priced at 400 rupees. And we've picked one which is so relevant to the theme of our bazaar today. This is called How Pintu Found Pi. You can see a circle up here, and I was telling you pi is a symbol in mathematics that represents a constant. It is the ratio of the circumference of a circle to its diameter. Bindya Parvani saying, can you recommend something for 9 years? What I'm showing you would definitely work for a 9-year-old. It has a lot of text, as you can see in the pages, and the Pratham level 3 and 4 pack would work for 8 to 10 year olds, certainly. Now, what is this? I mean, of course, the circle is significant because Pintu is he's very lonely because he has joined a new school. Whenever he approaches his classmates, they seem to close up into some kind of circle, not letting a new boy in, not letting an outsider in. But then what happens? Spin 2 finds pi. And we're not going to tell you what the spy is. Is it the mathematical pi? Is there a friend by the name pi? You've got to read this delightful book by Sarat Talluri Rao and illustrated by Aratrika Chaudhary to find out. And this one certainly in our level 3 and 4 pack. These packs that we've put together, we only have limited packs like this, perhaps 2 of them or 3 of them at the most. And I know last time when we did a science pack, they just flew off our shelves. So for those of you who are interested, please do ensure that you order them quickly enough, because they go out of stock very, very quickly. They are up on our website, www.funkyrainbow.com. You need to click on the tab that says BUZZAAR. There will be a drop down menu that says mathematics. Click on the tab that says mathematics, and you'll find all the books that we're recommending today, and ones that we can't talk about in the course of a 2-hour bazaar, all up there. Books for children in all age groups. Another beautiful book in this level 3 and 4 pack is called Savio Finds the Right Angle, written by Ramya Pai and illustrated by Sunaina Coelho. You can just see what a lovely way it is to introduce the concept of the right angle to young readers. Well, what is the story about? It's about Fatima, who wants to finish her homework on right angles, but her brother will have nothing of it. Her brother Savio drags her out to spend a day on the beach. Will an afternoon outdoors help Fatima with her homework? As you can see, it indeed does. So many right angles that she discovers around her, so many right angles tucked away in the pages that a reader can also start spotting it, and perhaps also complete his or her homework along with Fatima. This one, again, part of our Pratham pack. So, like I said, the level 3 and 4 pack, we have 8 books in them, and they are priced at 400 rupees as a pack. All wonderful books that youngest of readers will really enjoy. So, do check out our website and, pick up the ones that interest you. I'm going to say hello to a lot of people who've joined us today. But just before I say hello, I want to send a big, big shout out to a big, big supporter of Funky Rainbow, author Venita Coelho, who has just won the Bal Sahitya Puraskar for her outstanding book, Dead as a Dodo. Let's all put our hands together for author Venita Coelho, who has won the Bal Sahitya Puraskar this year for her wonderful book, Dead as a Dodo. Now, this is a set of 3 books, the series of 3 books. We'd recommend them for 10 plus year olds. There's Tiger by the Tail, there's Dead as a Dodo, and there's Monkey See, Monkey Do. 3 books in a series that features the Animal Intelligence Agency. And what does the Animal Intelligence Agency do? The Animal Intelligence Agency is comprised of human beings and animals, and they are trying to prevent 2-3 animals from going extinct. In this one, obviously, it is the tiger. In this one, which won the Bal Sahitya Puraskar for her, it is the dodo, which is an extinct bird. And in this one, Monkey See, it is the monkey. The thing is, Vanita Coelho is also a script writer, so she really keeps you turning the pages with these thrilling adventures. We are so, so delighted for her. And I want to reiterate that these books have won her several awards, including the Hindu Young World Good Books Awards for Best Book of Fiction a couple of years ago. So for those of you who haven't been introduced to Venita Coelho's writing, please do check out her books on our website, specifically these books from the Animal Intelligence Agency. But we can assure you all her other books are terrific reads too. I will, of course, say hello to a whole bunch of people who are there. Kabir Dikshit, Stuti Agarwal, what a pleasure to see you here. I'm so glad you've joined us. I have to tell our viewers that Author Stuti Agarwal visited us just 10 days ago, and we're going to share some photographs of her visit on our social media pages shortly. Stuti has some wonderful books set in Darjeeling, and one of those where we are going to feature in our new arrivals segment. There is, the story of Tutsi Lama, which is a charming story set in Darjeeling. She's also done a wonderful biography of Abdul Kalam, also available on Funky Rainbow website, and the new book. You've got to wait till we introduce our new arrivals to see it. Thank you so much for joining us at this bazaar, Stuti. Mamta Naini, what a pleasure to see you here. Lakshmi Uttama, Anjani Gopal. It just gives us so much pleasure to see so many writers and illustrators of books joining us at the bazaar as well. Your books really light up our lives. Lakshmi Uttama, Anjani Gopal, Soumya Srihari, what a pleasure. It's so lovely that somebody who works in the space of, mathematics is here with us this morning. Diksha Rastogi saying, love Tutsi Lama. Really, I've read some reviews that say that Tutsi is like the Pippi Longstocking of India. Lovely book, really. Padma Baliga saying, good morning, Team Funky Rainbow. What a pleasure to see you here this morning, Padma Baliga. Irene Devansh, Mukta Vikas, Sanida Sifali, Rahul Vasnik, Parag Reeds, Kritika Prasad, Rimjim Priyadarshini, Seema Story of My Life, Vijita, Shruti Sri Raghunath, Anita Venugopal, Priyanka Venugopal, Sumi and Alexander Anup, Tulika Pillai. What a pleasure to see all of you at the bazaar. Muttama Devaya, I don't have a heart to say hello to you across the screen. You really should be sitting here, recommending and pulling out books from our shelves to recommend. We know you'll be back here very, very soon. Divya Menon, what a pleasure. I really hope Avyukt and Ameya Nair are here with us this morning as well. Kiran Tonapi, big Funky Rainbow supporter. Thank you so much. Bindya Parvani, Ashwangi Bhatt, Tanushri Singh, big shout out goes to her as well. Again, a wonderful writer and a book champion in so many, many ways. Haripriya Batula, what a pleasure you've joined us. Geeta Mani, Mum, absolutely a pleasure that you're here at the bazaar this morning. You know, this one is for Dad. And like I said at the start of the bazaar, that light can never go out of our lives. Thank you, all of you, for joining us at the Mathematics Bazaar this morning. I will make a clutch of, maybe 2-3 quick recommendations before we move to the story of the day. And I'm so happy that our partner at Funky Rainbow, Grace Stroke, is going to have all of you in quite a funky mathemat twist with his storytelling. Before he comes live, a clutch of a couple of more recommendations for you. This excellent pair of books, called How Do We Weigh Appukutan, written and illustrated by Indu Harikumar. The story of a young prince, who feeds Appukutan the elephant his breakfast. And while he's feeding Appukutan his breakfast, he starts to think, how much do you think Appukutan weighs? Appukutan the elephant, what do you think his weight is? And of course, the whole kingdom gets busy trying to solve this riddle. It takes nothing but a smart girl, and in this case, it's a little girl called Meenu, to find the answer. How does she solve the problem? How does she find the answer to how much Appukutan weighs? What a beautiful mathematical book this is, published by Ekalavya and priced at a mere 50 rupees. There's an excellent adaptation of the very same story, done by another publisher. And this is, by Katha. This book called How to Weigh an Elephant, written by Geeta Dharmarajan and art by Wen Su, Chinese illustrator Wen Su. Again, a beautiful book, how beautifully illustrated, where again, the people of the kingdom, everybody's, the people of the kingdom seem to be missing. Where have they all gone? Well, they've gone somewhere because they are busy finding out the weight of the king's favorite elephant. Now, how can that be done? Well, in this case too, it's none other than Princess Leelavati. The king, of course, announces a grand prize, and it's none other than Leelavati who solves this exciting math mystery for you. What is really lovely in the book is that, paying tribute at the very end to some wonderful, women mathematicians who paved the way for some exciting work in the field of mathematics. I just love this part of the book where they tell you, that Princess Leelavati, the protagonist of the book, was inspired by some pioneering mathematicians, E.K. Janaki Ammal, Kamala Sohoni, and Aditi Pant, all of whom, really made brilliant discoveries in the space of mathematics. And really, the Leelavati being inspired by these famous women mathematicians and scientists. This one priced at 295 rupees, a must have on every home and school library shelf. In the same vein, and we do recommend international books. It's not like we don't have international books at Funky Rainbow, but our focus is largely on Indian children's books. But here's one beautiful one that came up into our shelves a couple of months ago, called How to Solve a Problem by Ashima Shiresi and illustrated by Yao Xao. Now you can see, what is the story about? It's actually the story of a rock climber called Ashima. And what does rock climbing have to do with mathematics? Well, Ashima believes that her successful climbing, I mean, she's a rock climbing champion, and that her ability to solve problems is exactly what helps her climb these rocks. And I tell you, you need to turn the pages of the books to understand how, thinking of a higher order is, something that is a life skill that we need to imbibe. We all need to imbibe. We need to help our children imbibe this as well. And you can see Ashima in this story, figuring out how to scale rocks by way of solving mathematical problems. I can't tell you, it was Mutama who brought my attention to this beautiful book. And, having read it, I'm so delighted that we had a chance to feature it in our Mathematics Bazaar. So, like I said, Ashima, she solves problems. What does she mean when she says she solves problems? She essentially makes the problems her own. And these are mathematical problems or scientific problems that have helped her become a rock climbing champion. It's a beautiful picture book. You can see these gorgeous illustrations showing you so much of how Ashima climbs rocks. This one published by Penguin Random House. It's an international book priced at 499 rupees. With that, maybe we can do, one quick book before Grace Stroke joins us with a wonderful story, a wonderful counting story to entertain, you. I can see Muttama saying, love, love, love this one. She says, better make sure it flies off our shelves before I get back. Otherwise, I refuse to part with this one. Ladies and gentlemen, that is no mean threat. You better pick up that book, because otherwise, if when Muttama's back, I'm sure she's going to refuse to sell that one. This one, a wonderful chapter book put together by Lubena Bandukwala, a very, very dear friend of Funky Rainbows, and Vinita Kanoria, called Let's Do This Together. What is this book all about? Well, the book is full of math stories to solve. And what kind of math stories? How much? How many? How far? How small? Math really helps us, make sense of the world around us. I can see Preeti Ramchandran. Welcome. Thank you for joining us at the Bazaar. Loving the wide array of local and global books you are bringing to us. Beautiful illustrations, math skills through storytelling. Thank you, Vidya and Team FR. Thank you so much for saying that every single time and supporting what we do, Preeti Ramachandran. So, this one, a chapter book that we would recommend for 7 to 9 year olds. So, for instance, what are the queries, what are the quandaries, the mathematical quandaries that get resolved in this book? How many mangoes are needed to make a jar of pickle? I hope my aunt and mother are watching because they are huge pickle makers. And I wonder if there's any mathematical calculation that goes into making those pickles. How many toes does the monster under the bed have? How many days till the new moon? Well, this book, going into the how much, how many, how far, and how small of things, filled with wonderful stories that weave math problems into things that we do in everyday life. Tulika Pillai is saying, my mother teaches me little tricks to do maths quickly, so it's fun for me. Well, Rudra Nair, how wonderful. That's exactly the kind of mum and dad that you should have, giving you little tricks that help you solve math problems very, very quickly. CA Pooja Ailwadi saying, hi everyone, how wonderful to see you here this morning, Pooja. So, this one, like I said, a wonderful chapter book, actually illustrated by Zainab Tambawala, and you can see lots of lovely, quirky illustrations. And these are the riddles and the mathematical problems in the book. Children can do with parents, teachers, siblings, and their friends. Not very difficult to read, lots of large pictures, and not very heavy text. I can show you some of the text on the pages. This one priced at 199 rupees. We would recommend it for 7, 8+ year olds. So this one published by Penguin, priced at 199 rupees. Like I said, these wonderful books introducing mathematics in such fun ways to readers. We've come, we do have books for older kids as well, but we will, continue recommending those ones for you after this fun and exciting storytelling session by the one and only Grace Stroke. Grace Stroke, of course, has to leave the back end of the studio and join us here. So if there are any technical glitches, folks, I'm afraid he's going to have to stop the storytelling and run back to our studio to set things right. I am so delighted that in a bazaar that I've dedicated to my father, whose life, like I said, was ruled by science, mathematics, engineering, and also humor. I'm so delighted that my partner at Funky Rainbow is going to regale all of you with a funny story. Now, over to Grace Stroke, who will join us just in a bit.
Hello there. I'm back. I'm Grace Stroke, and I'm here to tell you a story. Now, as Vidya was saying, I too shall dedicate the story to VGS as we all knew him. And he was a man of numbers and engineering and everything to do with cars and mechanics and all kinds of things like that. One of my favorite experiences with him was that I had a Nano, the car, some time back, and he used to, check on how it was doing every single time I met him. So Sham, what's the mileage on it? So Sham, do you have any problems with the engine? How is it performing? He was always curious and always interested in things like that, and he's the reason why I used to keep a little notebook in my, in my glove compartment, and in that notebook I had to write, the mileage when I begin every day. When I start the car, I write, okay, 1 2 5 4 6, And then when I go put petrol, I have to put how many liters I put, and and what the mileage was at that time, and then come back and then note it down the next time. So that I can calculate. It was a math problem, of course, and I had to calculate what mileage it gave me, and without fail every time, Sham. So how's it doing? So what is the mileage? And that was my, my math training. I mean, that's pretty much all the math training I have had actually. So let's. I have a story for you, which again has a little math problem in it. It's not a math problem actually. It is the kind of math problem that I would have. You know, like counting from 1 to 10. That's a serious problem. I mean, don't laugh. You have no idea what it means not to do things like, what is 56 into 72. And I was like, let me think. Yeah, can I have some time? And for me, numbers was always like, counting. I think like the French do. Like, what's 80? That is 40. I mean, 40 into two. It is right. Yes. Yeah, it is. It is. So I got that right. Or like, 85. It's like, what? Like it's like, no. It means that you have to multiply 20 by 4, then reduce 10. And I said, just tell me the number. It's easier. So here's somebody else who had who thought he was smart, and he had maybe some counting problems and some other problems as well. But let's find out. Without much ado, I plunge into my story, and it's the eighth donkey. That's what I shall call it. Now, as we all know, it's been the pandemic raging around the world for some time now, and we've had trouble with business. Business is down. There are things happening around the place, and we have not been able to go out. And it was no different for the main characters from my story as well. So Aisha and Azad, they were two farmers who were a little away from the city, and they had a lot of donkeys, the ones, donkeys. So how they used to make a living is by giving these donkeys out to, people who needed them for moving things from one place to another, for working in their fields and things like that. But due to the lockdown, as you all know, things were tough, business was down. So Aisha decided that, to make ends meet, they should sell a few of the donkeys. So one day, Aisha decided that Azad should take the some of their donkeys to the big market. It was a little distance away, to sell them. So they had this family meeting, and Aisha said, Azad, we have to sell our donkeys. We have 25 donkeys, but we can sell 7 donkeys, and you go to big market and you sell them for 70 coins. 70 coins. We will have enough food for the next 6 months. Azad was like, yes, yes, yes. My brain, my wife is very brainy. She take good decision. So I take the donkeys. I take the 7 donkeys. I go to market and I sell them for 70 coins. So with this plan of selling 7 donkeys for 70 coins, Azad set out, began to make plans. So Aisha told him, "You have to be very careful about the donkeys, huh? Azad, you listen to me. You not be careless. So you take the donkeys, you take one the rope, and you tie the rope to all the donkeys in one line. You make a train of donkeys. Then you be in the front as the main donkey. No, you be the front, and then you go take the donkey train to the market." So Azad was like happy that he had this brilliant wife. And he's like, what would I do without you? My wife is brainy, na? My brainy wife. So I take 7 donkeys, I tie them with one rope, I stand in a train, and then I take them to the market. So with that and as a plan, come Sunday, he was ready. He took a long rope. He tied the first donkey to the second one, then to the third one. So he had a long line of 7 donkeys. And he set out. He packed some lunch and he set out to the big market, which was a fair distance away. So on the way, he got a bit tired. So he thought, you know, I have donkeys. So to go to market, I can sit on donkey and go. No, why should I walk? I'm very brainy. You know that. So he decided that he will sit on one of them. So he sat on the first one and then set out. After a while, he remembered something that his wife had told him. You know, hey, Azad, you be very, you not be careless, eh? Hey, you take, you check every short distance. You stop your donkey train and you count the number of donkeys. You should have the 7 donkeys with you, huh? Okay, you remember all time. So after a while, Azad remembered that he had to count the donkeys. So he stopped and turned around and he counted one, two, three, four, five, six. Only 6 donkeys. I'm scary. Where is for 7 donkey? 7 donkeys. Not seen. So he was worried. He had set out with 7 donkeys and there was only six. So he counted once again. He said one, two, three, four, five, six. Oh my god, 7 donkey gone. I'm scary. I'm scary. Wah, I'm scary. Aisha will be very angry woman. I not want angry woman in my house. I have to take 7 donkeys and I have to get 70 coin. So he was a bit worried. Of course, he started with 7 donkeys and he had only six. So he got down to check again. And then he counted once again. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Ah, magical donkey, huh? Magical donkey. They might come back. It disappear and it come back. Oh, what a relief! I want to sell the 7 donkeys. So he got back on his donkey and set out again, happy that he had 7 donkeys and not six as he thought. After a while again, he decided that he had to count them because Aisha had Azad, you count every now and then you count, okay? So he sat down and he counted one, two, three, four, five, six. I'm scary. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's gone again. It's gone again. It's gone again. I had 7 donkeys. Now only six. What happened? It's a magical donkey. With this, he was a bit worried now that he had to do something about it. So he decided that he'll just find out something to do to make the 7th one come back. So he got down and then he counted again. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Magical donkey come back. 7th donkey come back. I am happy. So he sat on the first one again and he set out. After a while, it was about noon. So he was a little thirsty. So he stopped at uh, a juice shop. And there at the juice shop was this Chinese gentleman who had seen him. And he was looking a little worried because he had just stopped to count his donkeys again. And sure enough, there were only six. Now, Azad was a little troubled. He told the juice man, I'm very worried. I set out with 7 donkeys. It's 7 donkeys. But now I have only six. I not know what to do. Aisha, kill me. I have to sell 7 donkeys and get the 70 coins. So this gentleman had seen Azad come with the donkeys and he had a fair idea of what's going on. So he said, you know what? I give you 7th donkey. You give me 3 coin. He said, 3 coins? 3 coin for 1 donkey? That is very cheap. I'm a nice man. I give you free donkey, but no, I have to make money, little money, so I give you for 3 coins. You give me 3 coins, I give you 1 donkey free. So he thought, okay, that's a good idea. He thought, and he could get the 7th one. So I said, but first I check if really 7th donkey is there. Okay, then I pay you No problem. You come, you come. You came outside, you count the number of donkey, and then you give me the money. So both of them go out, and he counts one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Oh, seven donkeys. You're a very nice man, and you give me cheap donkey. I take the three cheap donkey. I still have seven donkeys to sell. He said, and he was quite happy that he had seven donkeys to sell again. So, and the Chinese gentleman was happy. And I give you seven donkey for three coins, and it is very cheap. You make money, 7 coin from selling one donkey for 10 coins. You happy, Johnny? And he went off. And off went Azad again, sitting on his donkey and with his donkey trained behind him. So as he was going, he felt tired again after a while, and then he stopped to count because he remembered what Aisha had told him. So he counted. He turned back and he counted one, two, three, four, five, six. Oh my God! It is back to six donkeys again. I'm very scary. I'm very scary. It not happen like this. So poor Azad, he didn't know what was happening. He was a bit scared and he was a bit disappointed, but he knew that he had seven donkeys. So he set out further, and then when he stopped again, he saw a little girl, sitting under a tree. He said, so he stopped to have a drink of water, and the little girl asked him, "Hey, where are you going?" So he said, I come from village. I go to the market to sell seven donkeys, but I have only six now. Seventh donkey is missing. So the little girl looked at him, looked at the donkeys, and figured out something that she could do as well. So she said, "Don't worry, I help you. It is magical donkey, no? It disappeared when you sit on the donkey, no?" I said, "Yes, yes. It's a magical donkey. It disappeared. I don't know what to do." He said, "I help you. Okay? I have to go a little distance further. So I sit on the donkey. So you can see all seven donkeys. I watch all the seven donkeys. You give me 3 coins when we drop me off there. Okay?" So Azad was happy. He said, "Yes, you're brainy girl. Very good idea. I watch you and I watch the seven donkeys. You take care of donkeys for me. I give you 3 coins. Very good, very good." So they start, and the little girl sitting on the first donkey, Azad is at the back, and he's happy that all seven are walking in front of him. So after a distance, when they reached the junction where the little girl had to go off, so she got down from the donkey and she said, "Okay, uncle, I go this way. You go that way to market. 3 coins." So Azad was quite happy. It is not much further to the market, and he had all seven donkeys. So here you go. Very brainy girl. 3 coins. One, two, three. So she took the coins, of course, and she walked off. Azad bounced back on his donkey with his train behind him, and he set off to the market a little distance away. But soon he felt that he should count again because Aisha had told him to count the donkeys. So he stopped and he looked back and he counted. One, two, three, four, five, six. Oh my God! Oh my God! My donkey has disappeared again. Disappeared again. What will I do? What will I do? I have to sell seven donkeys. And as he was sitting on his donkey crying, there was a woman who passed by who said, "Oh, oh, gentleman, what is wrong? What is wrong?" He said, "I had seven donkeys when I came. When I set out from home, I had seven donkeys, but one keeps disappearing. Then I saw that a little girl helped me. She brought the seven donkeys all this distance, and then I went forward. One is missing. One is missing." So the lady said, "Don't worry, don't worry. I will count for you. Okay, I will count for you." She counts, and she looks at all the donkeys. He is counting, and then she sees Azad. "You know what? I see a total of 8 donkeys." Azad didn't know what the hell was happening. So he said, like, what is magic? He said, the lady was like, hey, donkeys. And she laughed and she couldn't answer him and she went her way, laughing all the way. And Azad was like, oh, I have 8 donkeys. That is very good. Now I can get more money for the donkeys. I start with 7 donkey, one magic donkey came. I have 8 donkeys. I go to market, sell 8 donkeys. So he went to the market and there he was shouting, 8 donkeys for sale, 8 donkeys for sale, 8 donkeys for sale. So a buyer comes up and he asks, did you say you have 8 donkeys? Yes, can't you see? I said, no, I don't. He said, you can't you see 8 donkeys here, right here in my train of donkeys. He says, no, I don't see any 8 donkeys. You're trying to play a trick on me. You're brainy like me. No, you're a clever person. I count for you. 1, 2, 3. So no. He says, no, it's okay. Let's count together. Shall we do that? Yes, we will count together. So they count together. One. Agreed. That's one. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So do you see the eighth one? No? I don't see the eighth one. It is not possible. It is magic donkey. You pay me for 8 donkeys. You are not see donkey, but I see not the eighth donkey. He said, I know. I don't. I don't. But it's possible. No, no, no. One woman, she told me right sometime back. She counted 8 donkeys, and then he went on to tell him the whole story about how he set out with 7 donkeys, and then one went missing, and then the Chinese person sold him one, and then how the little girl helped him take the 7 donkeys forward, and how the woman just now a little while back told him that there were 8. I get it. That's okay. Maybe that woman wasn't that smart. Yes, yes. Maybe she attend online class for math and she don't know. Maybe it is not. It is possible. Maybe she not clever like us. He said, yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe she isn't clever like us. So and so let's do one thing. I shall give you uh, 70 coins for 7 donkeys, and I'll give you invisible money for the invisible one. So Azad was like, oh, yes, that is very good idea. We are brainy people, no? We are brainy people. You are also brainy like me. So that's how he got 70 coins for his 7 donkeys, and he set back home. And all the while, he was thinking about all the people that came across. This coronavirus, I think, affect the lady's brain. She not know how to count, and she know that little girl. She also not how to count, and that Jews man, they all take my money, but know how to count. So he goes back to his house and he meets Aisha, who is very happy that he has got 70 coins for his 7 donkeys that set out from home. And then the next day was spent talking about how the magical 8th donkey came and how the disappearing donkeys kept going and coming back. So that's how that story went. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.
And that was Sham with a delightful story of some magical donkeys. 7 real, one imagined, but maybe one that was really real. There were so many compliments pouring in while you were telling the story, Sham. Pooja saying, wish my daughter could see this. Well, Pooja, these videos are up on Funky Rainbow's YouTube channel, and this one will be there on our YouTube channel later today, and your daughter can watch once her online class is done. Balambika Krishna Kumar saying, your narration is beautiful, just loving it. Bindya Parvani saying, beautiful narration. Shanti Subramaniam saying, awesome, Sham. Really, such wonderful storytelling. Muttama going, yay. And Shrutri Sri Raghunath saying, wonderful. Tulika Pillai, thank you. Story was too good. It indeed was a fantastic story, and I must say that it's sort of inspired from a story in this wonderful book, which I should show all of you. Guhan says, ha ha ha, very funny donkey story. Love the Chinese accent, Grey Stroke. Well, there is Guhan recognizing it. Well, like I said, this wonderful story, part of so many others, in this fabulous book called Mathematwist Number Tales from Around the World. We were going to recommend it a little later in the show, but since Sham has picked a story to narrate from this one, I'd say this one by TV Padma and illustrated by Proiti Roy is fantastic. And I can actually show you a picture of the lovely eighth donkey. No prizes for guessing, folks. Moon Mitra Das saying, awesome, excellent voice modulation. Everybody enjoying your story very much. Grey Stroke. No prizes for guessing who the eighth donkey in the story was. Such beautiful stories, not just from one country, but from across the world in this wonderful collection of number tales from Tulika. We would recommend these stories for 9+ year olds, for 10+ year olds mostly. And this book priced at 295 rupees, a wonderful, wonderful collection, edition to every bookshelf for every math enthusiast or not. Guhan wants that book right away. You bet he should get that one right away for sure. Really, like I said, and so nicely done. It's a collection. You can see how well they've designed the contents, with the numbers. So, stories from different countries from around the world, 14 different countries from around the world, including the story of the eighth donkey. CA Pooja Ailwadi also saying that, we too want that book all up on Funky Rainbow's website, www.funkyrainbow.com. Please click on the tab that says Book Bazaar. There'll be a drop down menu, and the one that says Mathematics will certainly have Mathematwist in its collection, besides all the others that we've recommended. Also, the ones that we are not able to talk about in the course of a 2 hour bazaar. But like I said, math can be so much fun, and how I really wish we had a lot of these books when we were growing up, so math would never be a bugbear. Of course, I'm going to continue with a couple of more recommendations for the day. Again, another delightful little book of mathematics called The Dog Who Taught Me Math. Wow, how about that? By Sonali Shenoy and illustrated by Tanvi Bhatt. It's a lovely chapter book. As you can see, nice pictures and little text telling the story of a young girl called Parvati. Parvati, what is the story of Parvati? Well, she loves her mother. She listens to her grandfather. She likes going to school. She does everything right except that one thing. And what do you think that could be? It's just her darned math homework. Parvati struggles with it every evening until she finds a most unlikely companion. And who do you think this companion is? Of course, once you see the title of the book, you do know, well, this companion is Kutti, her neighbor's retired police dog. You know what? They do say that the best teachers in the world can actually be there for you without saying a word. And Kutti indeed turns out to be one of those teachers. But how does Kutti teach Parvati math? You've got to read this delightful book that we'd recommend for 7+ year olds, published by Miss Mochi and priced at 170 rupees. Really, like I say, so much fun in math. And in so many ways, maybe as folk tales, maybe as puzzles, maybe as stories from across the world, maybe as brain teasers, maybe just one of the stories that we recommended, of doing rock climbing but using math to solve the problems of rock climbing. Really, math helps us make sense of the world around us and how. And I really feel, as adults who are, introducing books to children, the nicest thing to do is to give them the practical implications of everything that they learn in school. If we knew many of these things and applied them in our lives practically, we'd never have trouble understanding them ever again. Sham would not gape, or Greystroke would not gape at my father's calculation of his car's mileage if the practical implications of these mathematical problems were, sort of taught to us as children. We have, of course, two wonderful books from DK. Again, like I said, this bazaar featuring some, some international books on mathematics as well. And there are two here which are really lovely. And I can see Mutama sending out a loud, vigorous, oh, yes, trust a dog to take care of everything as always. Absolutely true. And she'd know it, the big dog lover that she is. Now, this one, two wonderful books from DK called All About Maths and All About Numbers. And DK has such a wonderful encyclopedic way of introducing things to you with bits and bytes of information and trivia. So, from this book, All About Maths, how can you weigh your head without chopping it off? Well, that seems like a very good way to, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm sure there are like many, many folk tales that are based on how you can weigh your head without chopping it off. Pooja saying, hey, we need a favor. If possible, can we group all these books under a separate math section on your site shown today? Would love to just browse the section and pick up the books. It is indeed there like that, Pooja. Please click the tab that says Book Bazaar, and there will be a drop down menu that comes, and one of the headers in that drop down menu will be mathematics. Once you click on the tab that says maths, it says maths. Once you click on the tab that says maths, all the books that we are recommending in the course of our bazaar today, and many that we can't because we have so many books in our collection, many that we can't, all up there on the website, all available at special discounted prices. So for books that interest you, please do browse at your leisure and convenience. We do have stocks of these books, but not all do we have so many copies of. So sometimes they just fly off our shelves within an hour after the bazaar or two after the bazaar. So please do look at the books at your convenience, at your leisure, and pick the ones that really interest you. We do this for all our bazaar themes. So anything that comes in that drop down menu, there's math, there's science, there's World Wildlife Day, there are just a whole host of themes, and you can find tons of books on those themes for children of all ages. You're saying, wow, surely helpful, delighted that you look at it. So to come back to this book, what makes pi one of the weirdest numbers in the world? And look at the way DK, with its really incredible illustrations and photographs, demystifying the beauty of mathematics for young readers. And really, this one takes you on an action packed adventure, as it tells you the remarkable story of maths from ancient mathematicians to modern mathematicians, and giving you the practical implications of math in multiple ways. What does math have to do with the seasons? What does math have to do with angles? And taking you through various natural phenomena that introduce you to various mathematical concepts. I mean, particularly we loved the one, the section on pi in this book. These are published by Penguin Random House, internationally priced at 450 rupees. There's also All About Math, which is again You think numbers are boring, this book will make you think again. The number zero that didn't exist till around 600 CE, or that a googolplex is a number so big that it would fill the universe if you tried to write it down, or that the number 1089 is the number that you need to use to read people's minds. Look at the fun of all of this. I mean, how do you think a fact filled book like this, A Journey to Infinity and Beyond, unraveling mazes, outsmarting calculators, well, it's all about how math can be tons of really wonderful books from DK. Like I said, we rarely put too many international books into our collection. It's not that we don't have them at Funky Rainbow, but we really specialize in a curated collection of Indian children's books, and now a smattering of unusual international ones as well. This too priced at 450 rupees, available at special discounted prices at Funky Rainbow's Bazaar. Of course, a math bazaar would be incomplete if we didn't talk about money, isn't it? I'm not sure we have such a good sense of it. And if you feel the same way too, it is, this wonderful series by Mala Kumar called the Rupya Pesa series, where there are four books, but I'm afraid I think we just have one set, or we have two sets with four books and a couple of more sets with three books in them, introducing you to the world of money. And I love the way its name, the Rupya Pesa series. That's our currency, and that's exactly what our children need to be introduced to. This one, written by Mala Kumar and illustrated by Deepa Balsavar. Book one, dealing with the world of money. Book two, dealing with how money travels. Really, who makes money? How does money travel all around the world? Why is a plant more valuable than cut flowers? All such interesting questions. Book three, dealing with the money managers. What is managing money all about? Should we buy a badminton set? How can you make your own piggy bank? Do you know who Kuber, Dhanadhan, and Chanakya are? What wonderful questions answered in this series. And the fourth one, be wise with money. Not sure I can talk that much about it, being having been unwise with my money all through. But that said, really, a wonderful series of books, the Rupya Paisa series, priced at 200 rupees, isn't it, Suji? Priced at 200 rupees as a book, as a set of four books. Very limited copies of the set available at Funky Rainbow. Some sets that have, two sets that have all four books, and a couple of more sets that have three books in it. But no math bazaar complete without the concept of money. We also have one or two other quick books that I can include about money. This one by Ravi Subramaniam, a banker, a very well known writer for adults. Ravi Subramaniam and Shoma Narayanan doing this book, published by Penguin, called My First Book of Money. What is this first book of money all about? We'd recommend these books for 8+ year olds. They say time is money. So many people tell you that time is money, but they never tell you why. People tell you that money doesn't grow on trees. Then where does it really come from? Aman and Anya are as clueless about cash as you and perhaps me are. So what do? They start asking questions, and so many of those questions answered in this book. Again, like I said, we'd recommend it for 8+ year olds because it's not so, it's not very, very heavy on text, maybe 9+ year olds, which take you through all money matters, big and small. Nalini Sorensen just popping in to send you a million hugs. Those million hugs going back to you, Nalini Sorensen. You know why they're coming to you. I know why you're sending them to me. And there's no counting those hugs ever. Mathematics or not, hugs can never get counted. And Nalini Sorensen also saying there are 6 zeros in a million. Remarkable. I might not exactly have known that as well. I do need to read the Rupya Paisa series as well. And believe me, We have millions of books at Funky Rainbow, millions of nothing, and millions of well wishers like you out there. And that's how we count our riches. One more quick book on the theme of money from called From Coins to Credit Cards by KV Singh, put together by the National Trust, the National Book Trust of India. Lovely book that introduces, it's a little bit of the history of money and introducing you to, what is the romance of coins all about? When did coins originate in India? How were the world wars impacted by coins? What were ancient Indian coins like? Pre-independence coins, post-independence coins, now ATM machines, credit cards, and really a lovely book for 10 plus year olds, accompanied by lots of photographs from different museums, different galleries across India. Quite a treasure trove of a book, on coins, credit cards, and all things connected to currency. This one priced at 135 rupees, published by NBT. My next recommendation for the day is one of the most delightful mathematical mysteries that I've ever set my eyes on and I've ever read. And this one by the very talented Anushka Ravi Shankar, called Captain Coconut and the Case of the Missing Bananas, written by Anushka Ravi Shankar and illustrated by Priya Sundaram. A beautiful number mystery done in graphic format. And I would like to show you some pages of how well Captain Coconut has been illustrated. He's an ace detective. Captain Coconut and his brain can solve any mystery, large or small. But what happens when it comes to the case of the missing bananas? Well, Captain Coconut finds himself on a slippery trail of peels and numbers. And my God, what a terrific, delightful, funny mystery this is, of involving numbers and banana peels. And you have to read this handsome hardback graphic comic to know if Captain Coconut solves the case of the missing bananas. This is the first book in the Captain Coconut series, and we really would recommend it for all, all children above the ages of 10, all adults as well, because Anushka has a delightful sense of humor, and you're going to find yourself chuckling as you turn the pages. And of course, Priya Sundaram's graphic art adding to those chuckles as well. This book priced at 400 rupees, so lovely to gift to young readers, who might enjoy a good mathematical mystery. A couple of other recommendations before I say hello to some more of you. We have this one from Miss Moochie Books called The Missing Mathematics Notebook by Amritash Mishra, which is again not a tough read at all. It is, it's like in a chapter book format, and we would say it works for 7, 8 plus year olds. And it is the story of a young boy called Ramanujam, whom he's named after, and Ramanujam's mathematics notebook that gets stolen. Why does it get stolen? What can it possibly contain? How do, the school friends solve this mystery? Well, classmates Vikram, Subhashri, and inspired by their favorite TV show, Detective Gopi, this trio decides to head out to solve the problem of the missing mathematics notebook. It's a fast-paced mystery, like I said, not very difficult to read. It's a quick read, priced at 200 rupees. This one, published by Miss Moochie, takes you down the down the lane of several mathematical mysteries. One or two, oh yeah, we do have, my gosh, I know, I thought we were almost done with our books, but I think I can see we have a clutch of them. I know we don't have much time, and I would like to do our new introductions as well, so I'm going to quickly tell you about a couple of more books that we have in our collection. This one, called Hands on Math, incredible stories and activities by the one and only, a man of science who has worked for so many years to make inexpensive books of science available for young readers, Arvind Gupta. So this one, has a whole clutch of, mysteries, puzzles. There are stories that are inspired by the lives of mathematicians, mathematical concepts explained through teasers, puzzles, and activities, problem solving skills sharpened by way of stories, lovely little experiments that you can do. We all know Arvind Gupta as the man who, introduces science and now in this book mathematics to young readers by just using everyday material that you can find in and around your house. So if he's teaching you a clutch of experiments about the angles of a triangle, believe me, you're going to need nothing more than some paper or a pencil, that you need to do these experiments. This one published by Scholastic, priced at 150 rupees. I do know that, for older kids, we're always, telling them to sharpen their math skills, to improve their memory. And here's, a collection of books that you can see. It's a pack, by Aditi and Sudhir Singhal, who are world record holders. In fact, Guinness World Record holders, who have two books in this series called How to Memorize Anything and How to Be a Math Magician. We would recommend this for 10 plus year olds, maybe 11 plus year olds. And this one, handbooks that really help your children, with lovely tips and tricks that will help them, boost their memory, perhaps right in time for their examinations, or perhaps, something that helps them. I know one child, Rudra Nair, put up saying, my mother teaches me so many tricks that help me do mathematical, sums so much more quickly. Aditi and Sudhir Singhal, Guinness World Record holders, definitely doing that with this clutch of books that improve both your mathematical and memory skills. It's really a must for, let's say, people, I mean, kids who want to write exams, adults who want to write exams as well as puzzle aficionados, because the books are full of puzzles and, giving you tips to solve these puzzles. It is available as the SPAC, priced at 499 rupees, and one of the books in that collection available singly as well, How to Memorize Anything. In keeping with that same vein of, books, three wonderful, Bright Sparks books, called Brain Games for Bright Sparks. There's Logic Games for Clever Kids and Math Games for Clever Kids. I know so many children walk into our office and our pop-up bookshop saying, give us some fun number puzzles to do, give us some Sudoku to do, give us number pyramids to solve. This book is full of such, these books, all three of them, which are all available individually up for sale on our website. Each one priced at 250 rupees and and published by Hachette India, testing your brain power in multiple and exciting ways. Really, for all those math sparks, these are the puzzle books to try. As I said, we would recommend it for 10 plus year olds and all adults who are interested in puzzles of all kinds. Of course, our last recommendation before we move to the new arrivals segment is this wonderful, wonderful book of fiction for young adults called The Boy Who Speaks in Numbers. This one, written by Mike Masilamani and art by Matthew Frame. And you can see the stunning, stunning illustrations. We'd recommend this book for 13 plus year olds. It's a young adult novel. It's a darkly satiric account of life in the times of war. And where is this war taking place? The war, the violence, and the refugee camps in Sri Lanka, where civil war is unfolding. And there is one, the unnamed hero of the book who absolutely can't speak. And it is a satire, so probably why this young boy can't speak. the thing is, when he is not able to express himself with words, he expresses himself through numbers. And what a powerful story it is of the havoc that war wreaks on our lives, the horrors of a prolonged civil war on a country. You can see very, very easily. And of course, there are so many numbers, because the boy only expresses himself through numbers right across this wonderful young adult novel, so strikingly illustrated by Matthew Frame. I think many adults would enjoy this book as well. This one, published by Tara, is priced at 450 rupees. These are some of the books that we want to, we have recommending, for children across age groups, starting from the youngest readers, newborn infants. We had those board books right at the beginning, going up to young adults with the boy who speaks in numbers. I'll just say a quick round of hellos before I move to our final segment of new arrivals. We do really thank each one of you for joining us at the bazaar. I'm just going to quickly say hello to many more people who seem to have joined us. I can see Joanne Saldana saying, "Hello, Funky. Sorry, only just crawling in. We'll catch up with everything I missed later." A big, big shout out and a million thanks goes out to Joanne Saldana in what was a rather introspective week for us. She sent us this fantastic gift, which we will certainly put up at Funky Rainbow, this beautiful banner, hand stitched banner that says Funky Rainbow with in so many, many, many colors. Joanne Saldana, I can't count beyond 100 mostly, or perhaps 1,000, but a million hugs going out to you for sending us this wonderful gift in a week that has been particularly speculative, introspective, and difficult for all of us at Funky Rainbow. I will, of course, say hello to all our other friends who joined us later in the day. Vidhi Bhargava, what a pleasure. So glad that editor at Red Panda is with us at the bazaar this morning. Khushbu, Rohan Subramanian, I'm so delighted to see you, my nephew, at the Funky Rainbow Bazaar. This bazaar was dedicated, or is dedicated to my dad, your grandfather, whose world was ruled by science, engineering, and mathematics. But like I said, whose heart was entirely ruled by his family. Prithvi, Anasuya, Dhamisa, M. Ratan, Saumya, Manvi, Nancy Raj, what a Revati Suresh, what a pleasure to see a friend at the bazaar this morning. Payal Dhar, again a writer friend, and a kindred spirit in so many ways. Thank you for joining us at this bazaar. Adhirit, Disha, Pranoti, Stories from Stone, Devika Karyappa, your new wonderful book is such a delight on on Nehru. We just got it last week at Funky Rainbow. In fact, I think just in the last 2 days we must have had it at Funky Rainbow. Such a lovely book. We would have put it on our new arrivals, but we were saving it up for next week because we already had a few this week. But I can't but help say, in what was a particularly difficult week, how much I enjoyed reading Devika Karyappa's Uncle Nehru, Please Send an Elephant. Like I said, written by Devika Karyappa and illustrated by Satvik Gade, published by Tulika. Thank you for joining us, Stories with Stone, Devika Karyappa, at the bazaar. Diksha Rastogi, Padma Baliga, Parul Mathur, how lovely to see you. Divya Purandar, dear, dear, dear friend, big supporter of Funky Rainbow. Preeti Ramchandran, also such a big supporter of Funky Rainbow, with Guhan, a little boy who has all our hearts, much like Avyukt and Ameya Nair. C.A. Pooja Ailwadi, lovely to see you here. Anam Fatima, such a pleasure. Balambika Krishna Kumar, I know you've been in touch with us so many times on WhatsApp. Neeraj Jha, what a pleasure to have a business partner, and a dear, dear friend with us at Funky Rainbow's Mathematics Bazaar. Shanti Subramaniam, I have to say, Neeraj, I'm not sure we had such a good sense of math when we were running Chatterbox. I'm not sure things have changed that much these days, but this much I can tell you, hundreds of mathematical books that we can read and perhaps get sharper and brighter. That definitely goes for me as far as my mathematical skills go. Shanti Subramaniam and Murli Gopal Krishnan, what a pleasure that you are with us, such big supporters of what Funky Rainbow does. Moon Mitra Das, we always love it. She messaged us last week saying that I'm so disappointed that there was no bazaar. It was really a tough one for us, Moon, and we couldn't present the bazaar, but we're back again, and I'm so glad that we have the support, like I say, of countless people like you who encourage us in doing what we do. Nalini Sorensen, of course, and Joanne Saldana, dear wonderful friends who have all joined us at the bazaar. With this, I'll just quickly show you a couple of our new arrivals before we say bye bye. Shama, you're going to put up the video of the new arrivals. And with that, our new arrivals, many of which we haven't read yet. In fact, I think most of which we haven't read yet, except one of them, a lovely international book by Jordan Scott and Sydney Smith called I Talk Like a River. What is this? What is the story all about? The author is the winner of the Kate Greenway Medal, the blurb tells us, and it's what if words get stuck in the back of your mouth whenever you want to speak. The illustrations look absolutely spectacular. And, it's, I think, the story of a boy who wakes up every morning with the sound of words all around him, but I'm afraid can't say the words himself. Definitely a book that I'm going to read this weekend. Our next new arrival from a writer whose wonderful books have brought so much laughter to our shelves, Parinita Shetty, and this one illustrated by Sahitya Rani, called Letters to Krishna, published by Karadi Tales. The story of a young girl called Krishna who has a surprise waiting for her when she gets back to school after her operation. Obviously, many things, many life lessons tucked away in children's books, and it's so ironic that we read them ever so often as adults, but only sometimes in difficult times that you realize that why grown-ups should read a lot of children's books, because there are such wonderful life lessons tucked away for us as well in these books. This one published by Karadi Tales, priced at 250 rupees. Two delightful new hooks which we're waiting to pounce on, pounce upon and read across this weekend. Lovely books by two very well-known writers. Homework, written and illustrated by the very talented Lavanya Karthik, and Kitten Trouble, written by the wonderful Bijal Vachrajani and illustrated by Rajiv Aip. The hook books are so wonderfully popular with young readers, between the ages of 5 to 7 years is what we'd say. And I'm so delighted that there are more and more hook books coming out, every quarter. I think these are going to be simply, delightful additions to that series of 6 books, two more making it 8. If you don't have these new hooks, and if you've already read the earlier ones, you've just got to grab these ones from our website, www.funkyrainbow.com. And like I said, Stuti Agarwal, who joined us at the bazaar with her brand new book, The Very Glum Life of Tootaloo Toop. What a name that just rolls off the tongue. I haven't read it yet. I had, when Stuti visited us at the office 10 days ago, I took the book home saying, I've got to read it. I've simply not, had the time to do it. But this weekend, I think I'm going to be going Tootaloo Toop right through. Looks like a lovely, with lovely illustrations. And like Stuti was explaining, Very, very interesting typesetting of the book as well. Different things written in exciting fonts, in fonts big and small on the pages. This one, illustrated by Karuna Subaya, is believed to be a delightful romp packed with magic, mystery, and fun, waiting to read this weekend to cheer all of us up. Once again, thank you all for being at our book bazaar every week and for supporting us in every way. We know, this is what counts for Funky Rainbow. The fact that we have so many supporters, we have so many people like you taking our books to children here, there, everywhere. Thank you for joining us at our Mathematics Bazaar. We'll be back next Saturday with another edition. Till then, count your blessings, folks. That's what matters the most in life. Thank you and bye bye.